Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Jennie Montgomery. Thank you so much for joining us today as we chat with a young woman who is in the thick of raising her young family and balancing her career. Danielle Springsteen Casalie is our executive producer here at News Channel 6, and this is her first day back at work after welcoming baby number 2, and she has a story to tell. Before we join Danielle on the couch, though, I want you to take a look at this. A teenage student just graduated from a Colorado high school a year ago. He quickly became a bus monitor and then a driver. Tyson DeClouet is the youngest bus driver ever hired in his district. He's just 19, and some parents have questioned his ability at such a young age. After all, it's a lot of responsibility, and a lot of people twice his age aren't cut out for the job. But Tyson says safety is his #1 concern, and he has a special goal, and that is, you just saw that wave there, he wants to make sure that he gives each kid a smile when they arrive at their stop. He wants to greet them and send them off with a smile. So I want you all to meet one of the people who makes us smile around here. She makes the news happen here at WJBF News Channel 6. This is Danielle Springsteen.
Yes, hi.
And I'm so happy to see Danielle because it has been a while since she has been with us. She has just welcomed your second baby into your family.
Yes.
So you have a newborn. She's about what? Three
months old.
3
Just
months
turned 3
old
months
now,
old,
and
yes.
how old is William?
He'll be 4 in August.
Okay, so before you know it, you're going to be putting little kids on a school
In
bus.
about a year, yeah.
And now a 19-year-old will look really gigantic compared to a pre-K or for a kindergartner. Would you think anything about that?
Not at all.
About the age of a bus driver?
Not at all. As long as safety is their biggest concern, and as long as they treat our kids great and treat my son great and give them a smile, I'm all for it.
One of the things that you are learning now is probably you're kind of happy to get back into a little adult interaction because you had a really long maternity leave.
14 weeks.
So how was it different from your first? From your first maternity leave?
My first maternity leave was only 7 weeks, so it was a little bit shorter recovery. This time it was a little longer because not only did I have a C-section, I was recovering from severe preeclampsia, so I had a much slower recovery. So
you were hospitalized before
for about a week before I gave birth. So it was a little bit slower recovery, so I'm glad I got that time to not only recover myself, but spend time with my daughter, which is something I really didn't get with my son, who I had to put in daycare at 6 weeks and come back to work. I got about 3 months with her bonding time, which is something I'll never forget. Spending that time with her that I may never get back ever again.
Let me ask you this. I remember when I was pregnant with my second one, and one of the things that I kind of worried about quietly and didn't share was, I'm never going to love anybody as much as I love him. How am I ever going to love? And it's amazing how your heart just expands, isn't it?
Yes, and that was a fear of mine too, just because I'm really close with my son. And so I was a little nervous bringing, my daughter into the mix, but I can't imagine not having her in our family and seeing my son become a big brother and like really take on that huge role and like always wanting to be my little helper. Like I can't imagine like them both not being in my life, and so it's really been great so far.
Isn't it funny how you look at William differently now? Because he had been your baby,
Yeah,
and then suddenly when there is actually, you know, like a little 6-pound baby.
Yeah. I felt like, because my daughter was only 4 pounds when she was born, so when we brought her home and just to feel a 4-pound baby, and then my toddler, I was like, whoa, I didn't realize how big he was until I came home, and I was like, oh, you were a lot bigger than I remembered. So it was kind of a difference to see a 4-pound baby and a toddler, just to see the difference, but it's been great.
It really is.
Yeah.
And your husband is David?
Yes.
Now, is David good about helping with the babies?
Yeah. So far he was able to take 3 weeks off, so he was a huge help during that time.
Oh, so you all had 3 full weeks together.
3 full weeks
for your
together.
new little family to start. Wonderful.
And that was really helpful for my recovery, since I couldn't really like pick William up.
No, because you had stitches.
And so to have my husband there and for him to help me during those 3 weeks, it was super helpful. And then when David went back to work, William went back to daycare. So then it went from all of us as a family bonding time to just me and Olivia at home.
Oh, I'm so glad that you did have that time just with her. That is so special.
It was great.
And he, I'm sure, loves his friends at day school and all.
Yes.
I mean, at preschool and all of that.
He gets there right at 6:30. He's like wakes up and he's ready to go. And he has a speech delay, so to see him flourish at daycare with kids his age, it's been really helpful and really awesome to see.
We have to do something that she's really good about as an executive producer, and that is hitting the break on time so that we get those commercials in. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone. We're talking today with our executive producer here at WJBF News Channel 6. Her name is Danielle Springsteen. And you might like me to throw your married name in, Casalie,
Casalie.
Danielle Casalie, but she's always going to be Springsteen to me. Yes, that's Springsteen. We're talking about that Springsteen. There is a relation. There is. Danielle, I really think it's exciting to talk to new moms who are figuring out how to do family, how to juggle family, how to have your career. And I think back, I had a sister who was stay-at-home and I had a sister-in-law who was stay-at-home. But I really liked my career and I really wanted to keep working. And my mother said to me, you will be a better mother happy in your career than you would be frustrated at home all the time. And I have told her many times that was such great advice to impart to me. Do you feel passionate that work is important to you?
Absolutely. I think it gives me that break of being able to do my career, which I was so passionate about, in college and before I became a mother. So it kind of gives me my time as a mom at home, but also still come here to do the job that I love every single day. I get to do both things that I love. So I think it's important to me to have that time where I can come and work on my career and do my job and still also go home to be a mother. That was important to me to still have my career, even becoming a mother.
The one thing too that I found was that when you have little children that run to you with their arms up when you walk in the door, any stressor from your day goes away. Because the most important thing in your life thinks you're the most wonderful thing in the world.
Absolutely.
And it is just, I don't know, for me it was just such a great way to compartmentalize. Okay, there's that work stuff, but this is my life. And this is where my energy is going now.
Absolutely.
And I just think it was easier probably for me to be really present because we didn't have social media when my children were little. And we all know what a big distraction social media is. But there are also really cool things about social media. As a young mom, we get to keep up with your little kids, and I love what the moms do now, where they have the 1 month picture and the 2 month, and you're doing it in the same chair or on the mat, and you see how the baby is growing so much. That's going to be so great for y'all to look back on to have a record of all of that.
And that's been one of my favorite things. I did it with my son, and it was so cool to see how he grew with personality in each month's photo. And we have a little picture with every picture from him, and I'm now doing it with my daughter. And she started so tiny, so to see how much she's grown in just the 3 months, it's really cool. And be able to show with family. Most of my family lives out of state, so to be able to post on social media for them to see her growth and my son's growth has been really great. So they get to still be involved, even though they live out of state.
In the time that I have known Danielle, she used to say something that none of us in the newsroom really knew about. And sometimes she would bring things to us. And these things were called Buc-ee's. And she was all about Buc-ee's because Danielle's from Texas. And Danielle, in the time you've been with us, we now have a Buc-ee's in Calhoun. And we have one in Florence. So many of us, whenever we would go to a Buc-ee's for the first time, we'd take a selfie and send it to Danielle.
Yes, I was the resident Buc-ee's expert, and it's one of my favorite things about Texas.
That's how I supered you, resident Buc-ee's expert.
Yes, it's one of my favorite things. It's still my favorite thing. Every time my parents come and visit from Texas, I'm like, okay, you have to bring this jerky for this person and this beaver nugget. My husband loves their jerky, so I feel like my parents send us care packages from Buc-ee's all the time. And now we get to drive one only 2 or 3 hours away, so we are very excited that they're much closer than they were all the way back in Texas.
Yes. I remember driving through Texas and being like, that's what Danielle always talks about. That's we have to go to that place.
Yes, it's awesome. I love it. It's until you've been there, you don't really know what it's like until you actually step in. You're like, oh, this is more than just a gas station. Do your Christmas shopping there.
You can.
Yeah.
You absolutely can. You can. How much do you depend on support from your husband and your family, even though they're not close by?
Huge. I think family is a big part of my life and my husband's life, and we obviously have his family here, and his parents are very involved. They babysit for us a lot. We go to church together, so their support's been really great, especially with my family being like away in Texas. So to have them close has been great. And just my mom, she, when I was hospitalized, she came in and flew immediately.
Yeah.
So to have my parents support, even living far away, my other family living in New Jersey, they're just a text, phone call away no matter the night. So family's a huge part of my life, and I hope to pass it on to my kids.
That's right.
And stuff.
That's right.
Yeah.
Raise them that way,
Yeah.
knowing family matters.
Yeah.
Well, Danielle, thank you so much for sharing part of your personal life with us today.
No problem.
And by all means, welcome back to the
Thank
grind,
you.
lady.
I'm glad to be back.
Glad to see your
Yeah.
face in the newsroom again. When we come back, we'll catch up with Signature Mike. He's got some great ideas about design, color, and texture. Don't go away.